What's good, everybody? Josiah here. We're back with another video, and today we're gonna talk about how not Kawhi, Kyle Lowry went from a terrible playoff performer to an NBA champion. And when he was a bad playoff performer, I'm not gonna lie, I used to clown him a lot. I used to be like, wow, the Raptors have a better record than the Celtics and the Cavs and the Sixers. But watch this, they're just going to fail again because Kyle Lowry's going to play like crap. And so this year seemed like one of those years as well, as they lost game 1 to the Magic. And it looked like they just lost all hope. In my opinion, I was like, you know what, their season is over. I mean, they're going to win this one. I knew that they were going to end up just, I thought I knew they were just going to end up failing in the second round of the conference finals. But then he decided to show up. I mean, he dropped 0 points in game 1. What do you expect from him? I mean, you expect at least double digits, but he can't even get 1 point. He doesn't score a point. He doesn't even take 10 shots. He takes like 7 shots. And this year, Kyle Lowry showed what he can really do. He's really just a guy who is scoring because that's the role they wanted him to play. This year, there was like, you know what, you can take a step back. You can let Siakam and Kawhi do all the scoring, and you can spot up for jumpers and set up shots for your teammates. So when they did that, I was like, you know what, Kyle Lowry is really just underrated now. I mean, he was overrated, but now he's underrated because now people are ranking certain role players above him, and we do need to realize that now he is the best or second best player on that team, with Siakam being the future franchise player and Kyle Lowry being a player that they are also working to build around. But honestly, I don't see Kyle Lowry staying there much longer. I have a feeling they're going to do a trade and trade him somewhere else. It's going to be hard to remove that contract, but I feel it's the best move for the Raptors to move on from him. But as we've done this long intro, 2-minute 40-second intro, now we can talk about how he went from terrible in the playoffs to a solid competitor who was able to do his thing out there. And the first thing he did well this year compared to other years was he let the game come to him. He didn't just force things. He forced things in game 1, but he also didn't force them by not taking a lot of shots. Kyle Lowry is a 10 to 15 shot per game player, and if he can take those shots and knock them down, like if the shots aren't falling, he stops shooting. But what he needs to do is become more of a volume player. If he's a volume player, he tends to play better. And if you have him playing well, and you have his teammates playing well, and they're all playing as a team, then you have a good Raptor squad who can be a home court advantage team at least. I mean, my prediction for them this year is maybe a 4th or a 5th seed. I predict that the Bucks are the 1st seed, Sixers are the 2nd seed, Celtics or Pacers 3rd or 4th. Either one of those teams are going to be 3rd and 4th. And then the Raptors are probably going to be like the 5th seed. I think Kyle Lowry can lead this offense, and I think Siakam can really become a 20-point per game scorer this year. Same thing with Jason Tatum. I do think he can become a 20-point per game scorer. He's in the same category for me. But most improved player, well deserved, and Kyle Lowry is really a guy that I expect to make a big jump this year, and this is going to be a good year for him because he's never really been the best player on a basketball team. He's never been the best player. I mean, if you want to count Villanova, then go ahead, but I'm just saying he's never been the ultimate best player, automatic best player on the team. He's always been like the second best, player on the team. This year he was the third best. He was expected to be the second best, but he was ended up being the third best. And actually, I think Kyle Lowry now needs to make the jump as the best player on the Toronto Raptors. Yeah, he can let Siakam make the scoring duties, but he really needs to become the captain, the leader. He needs to be that because he really needs to learn how to make that jump. And with the Raptors with DeRozan was the best player. Then they had Kawhi, he was the best player, and then Siakam ended up being better. But this year I feel like Kyle Lowry has the chance to do better. But this is how he became better. He started facilitating more. I mean, look at this. He's driving to the rim. He's popping up the jumper. He's just doing a lot better with making plays. Like before, he would rush things. He would slow it down. Now he's either slowing it down or speeding it up. He completely controls the tempo, and he's really just doing a lot better when it comes to penetration and getting a good shot up. When he gets the good shots up, then you already know that's when you need to play through him. And in Game 6, they really did a good job of letting Lowry do his thing. I mean, when the Raptors let Kyle Lowry do what he needs to do, that's when they're at their best. Because Kyle Lowry does better when he looks to score first, and then he gets his teammates involved. Sort of like a Rondo, except he's a great shooter. When you have great shooters who can pass like players like Rondo and Chris Paul, players like that, but then they can also shoot, kind of like Kyrie and stuff, and they could also handle the ball, like, you've basically got a hybrid of all the point guards, and he's a good defender. So when you have a good defensive player, along with a good scorer, a good passer, he's good at a lot of things, but he's not exactly great at any one thing. I mean, he is great at, like, penetration and stuff now, but he's never really been great. Like, all-time great, is what I'm saying. He's never really had that chance to develop into his top form. He could have been the best player on the team, but instead he decided to take the max, as much money as he could possibly get, and stay with the Raptors. And he decided, you know what, I'm going to be the second or third option. I'm going to be that, because if I can contend on a team instead of just being the best player and then barely being a playoff team, then that's worth it. And I give him credit for that, but we have never really seen the best version of him, which I think is a problem. But, you already know. See, I'll come with the Euro step. Kyle Lowry with the nice pass, and, yeah. You just gotta, like, you just gotta take that next step, and that's how he went from loser to champion. I'll be uploading this soon. Peace, guys.